Welcome everyone to a new tournament, Alef Superstars, that's happening in Sharjah, UAE. We have the young and talented Nihal Sarin from India who's being asked what is his first move going to be. And we have the dignitaries there who are going to make the opening move. 1d4 played there. Yes. And Nihal's opponent is the UAE top player Salem Saleh. It's going to be an exciting event. It's a 4-player double round robin. Nihal Salem Sjugirov, and we have Yangyi. And there are classical, rapid and blitz format. Nihal presses the clock, 1d4 on the board. Salem gets his knight out to f6. Now Nihal's current rating is 2688 and he'll be looking to break into 2700 range. c4 played by him. Nihal's playing style is extremely solid, but let's see if he's going to change that today. He thinks for a bit and goes, whoa, h4 on the board. Nihal going there for the kill right from the opening. Pawn push to h4 is well known. It's not like Nihal has come up with something new, but it is aggressive. You're not developing a piece in the opening. You're moving your rook pawn. You're showing your intentions. Now Nihal brings his knight out. And the idea is that Salem loves to play the Grunfeld with d5, and there he can take knight takes and push his pawn forward. So that's the reason why he's played this, and with this Salem goes into King's Indian setup, and I think Nihal is happy with it. Knight comes out to c6. When you are able to put your opponent in uncomfortable scenarios, it's a good idea. d5 pawn push by Nihal, and Salem puts his knight on e5. Now notice, because the pawn is on h4, playing f4 is going to be tough, because the moment you push your pawn to f4, the g4 square becomes weak, and that's what Salem has done. He has locked into that square on g4, and Nihal says, but I don't want to kick that knight away anyway. I want to exchange it off. And Salem takes, and now would you take with the bishop or with the pawn? An important decision here. Try to think carefully. Nihal takes it with the pawn, and you can see it bolsters his center, and later he can advance with f4 and e5. Salem hacks away at the center with c6. Nihal continues with his development, bishop e3, and we have short castling on the board. Has black castled into a dangerous situation, because imagine the bishop coming here, the rook taking the open file. But Salem says there's a lot of fluidity in the center and I don't have to worry. Nihal takes back with his c-pawn. He can always castle on the queen side. That is a possibility. And so Salem now breaks in the center with e6. Nihal, after 4 minutes of thought, takes the pawn and tells Salem, your pawn is weak here. Bishop takes. But if you long castle now, imagine this. Then b5, b4, queen a5 is an attack. So Nihal does a very smart decision. He plays rook d1 and Salem sacrifices his pawn. Pawn takes. You can't take here because it's being defended already 3 times by the queen and the rook. So you have to move away the bishop. But Nihal is now a pawn up. However, his structure is a bit weak. Doubled isolated pawns there, and nice little move, king f1. With this, what he's done is he's kind of trying to castle, but at the same time keeping his rook here so that the h4 pawn is protected. I think Salem is kind of happy that he has this play in the position, nice pieces. But Nihal should also be pleased because he's pawn up and the central pawn is a passer. Bishop b5. Attacking there, the rook on e8. The rook has to move. He goes bishop d7, offering a trade. Nihal takes it. He takes on d7. And now maybe knight takes. Yes, knight takes, opening up the bishop. The knight can jump here. The king is a bit weak. So you have to be careful as Nihal. But one of the things that you can observe here is Nihal's central pawn is not stopping. It's gone to d6. Salem takes the pawn, bishop. The knight on c3, bishop takes c3 has happened. And now you take back, b takes c3. if you notice the white king, it looks a bit weak, but this pawn covers g5, this pawn covers g4, this pawn covers g3, so it's not so easy to attack. Rook e6. Okay, what Salem says is I'm going to bring my other rook here and try to win this pawn. Bishop g5, nice move. If you have to play f6, then queen d5 and you are in trouble. So that's the reason why queen a5 played here by Salem. He's attacking this pawn on c3, and love Nihal's next move, rook e1. If you play here, I play rook c1 and take your rook on c8. That's the reason why he plays rook c6. But now, isn't this going to simply spoil your entire structure? Yes, it is going to. Rook takes e6. Nihal Sarin takes it. And now look at the g6 pawn. It's very, very weak. After f takes e6, Salem comes back. F takes e6 played. Remember, it's 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment. There's no additional time. So the players have to be careful. e6 is hanging. If you try to save it with the queen, a7 pawn hangs. So the king has to start coming into the battle to defend it. He goes king f7. But now the bishop is beautifully positioned. Oh, Nihal gets the rook into the game. The attack is brewing. It's actually piping hot here. Salem plays rook c5. You can see he's unhappy with his position completely. Nihal goes bishop e7, taking away this square, maybe wanting to enter with the queen here. Oh, wow. This is such an aggressive game. We are on move 27 and Nihal has somehow managed to completely outwit his opponent in an aggressive manner, which just goes to show what a versatile player Nihal is, because we generally associate him with positional play. Queen comes to e5. The knight is doing a good job of defending f8, but Nihal says, I'm coming for your knight, I'm coming in for your king. And I think this position is utterly lost. White's king looks weak, but it isn't. There's not even one check in the position. Salem stops the clock. Nihal isn't there because he's gone somewhere. And there you have it, a handshake. Nihal starts off with a win. A win gets you 6 points in classical chess in this format, 4 points in rapid after this when it will happen, and 2 points in blitz. So this tournament is a very, very exciting one, with all formats being played through until the next 10 days. Stay tuned. Nihal Sarin starts off with a win and is moving now towards the 2700 mark once again in his live ratings.